Hey guys, good evening. Welcome back to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Hope you're all having a great weekend, and I hope we've all have had a great Saturday evening so far. First of all, do a massive favour for me. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel and the community if you're new. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button, and remember to put the notification bell on at all times so you receive dedicated content right throughout the rest of 2023 on United Red Devils 20 on YouTube for more Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 4 Last Resort, more Rocket League Season 12 Porsche, EA Sports FC 24 content, and much more brand stuff planned for the rest of 2023 on United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. So please subscribe to the channel and the community if you're new. Good evening to all you legends, and good evening to all you legendary people, and welcome to the Premier League reaction between Manchester United and Crystal Palace on match day 7 of the 23-24 Premier League season at Old Trafford this evening, finishing Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 1. Words I didn't even think I would be speaking, words I didn't even think were going to happen, and words that, honestly, I wouldn't suggest I was even going to say out my mouth this weekend for Manchester United. Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 1. What a joke, what an embarrassment, and quite frankly, how bloody pathetic that was from Manchester United. It was a disgrace. It was shambolic. It was shambles. Every word in the dictionary going for this football club, and the players today have massively let the team down. That performance was absolutely embarrassing. And I think the time is coming that we now need to start discussing what the fuck is going on at this club. You win your last 2 games in a row, keeping 2 clean sheets and scoring 4 goals. You beat Crystal Palace 3-0 in the Carabao Cup on Tuesday night, and you're the better team, and you absolutely outplayed them, destroyed them, and ripped them apart. And Crystal Palace today have come to Old Trafford and won 1-0 thanks to a glorious strike from their centre-back Andersen on the 25th minute, and Manchester United simply did not respond. As soon as they went 1-0 down, the heads dropped, the morale dropped, the confidence dropped. Everything in that team at the moment, it can't be trusted. I'm absolutely sick and tired of the excuses. I am sick and tired of the bullshit, and I'm sick and tired of the constant fucking PR that Manchester United think that they can keep on leaking out of this club on a regular daily basis, week by week and day by day. I'm fed up with the excuses. The performances on the pitch are unacceptable. Losing 1-0 at home to Palace on match day 7 of the Premier League season, 9 points from 21, is an absolute disgrace. I'm not blaming Ten Hag entirely for this today. I am blaming that bunch of arrogant, pathetic excuse that those players can call themselves professional footballers at Manchester United Football Club, where they today, quite frankly, embarrassed themselves, showing themselves up once again, and basically down-tooled under the manager again. And we currently now sit 11th in the Premier League and only 6 points above the bottom 3, where this Premier League season was meant to have a lot of excitement, a lot of hype, and a lot of positive that Manchester United could seriously challenge the likes of Arsenal and Manchester City at home and go on to win the league. Based on that today, fucking forget it. Absolutely fucking forget it. This isn't going to happen. This season has already been a fucking car crash already. And the situation now, it's now reaching boiling point. This is reaching boiling point now. And the sooner and the better the results get, the bad results on the pitch will stop. But to carry on playing the way we're performing, where the players are not stepping up, the worse the results will get. And unfortunately, the fans and supporters of Manchester United today have suffered badly due to that bunch of idiots on the pitch who can't play as a team, play as a bunch of individuals, and egos that are massively overhyped at this club. And some of those players think they're great, and some of those players think they're phenomenal standout players for this football club. The whole performance today, it had no energy. The team looked tired. It looked fatigued. We just simply did not respond as soon as we went 1-0 down. And that, unfortunately, is where the game was lost. Soon as Crystal Palace take the lead for a stunning strike from their centre-back Andersen, Manchester United didn't respond. And quite frankly, United just didn't turn up after that. I don't know why we can't win at home. I can't understand where the next Premier League win's going to come from. But carry on playing like this, Manchester United, and your season's going to be an absolute nightmare. I mean, I'm going to be really honest now. We are in a worse position than last season. At the start of last season, we were in a better position than sitting currently 11th on 9 points. 9 points from a possible 21 for 7 Premier League games in a row to start this league season. You would have thought you're going to look at the United fixtures and some of those wins would have been possible this season. And you do wonder now, where does this Premier League season lie? And what is the future for this club this season? Well, let's be honest and let's be quite frank about it now. Forget top 4, that's gone. Forget Champions League football next season, that's gone. United are going to be lucky to get into Europe. And that is being very honest now. Carry on playing the way we're playing. Forget any significant trophy. Forget any title charge. And forget United trying to get into a European spot for next season, because it ain't going to happen. And long-term, United are going to suffer. I look at that team today and I look at the amount of injury problems. I look at the squad we've got available to Ten Hag. And I look at the players and the selection he went with today. On paper, that United team should have been good enough to beat Crystal Palace today. But it wasn't. And that is down to that starting 11. It's down to also the options on the bench. And I think it's basically down to, Manchester United are not stepping up to the plate. They're not stepping up to the mark. And I do not think those players are comfortable with each other in that team. The midfield three of Mount, Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes, it doesn't work. Playing Amrabat at left back is a disgrace. And then, using fringe players like Pellistri and Martial that are nowhere near good enough to be in this Man United 11, you do have to start questioning what is Ten Hag doing. We need to be honest now. Pellestri's not good enough. He should not be starting games for Manchester United. He should be on the bench at least as a bench option coming on to make an impact in the second half. And we are constantly putting the faith and the trust in Pellistri and Martial, bang average players, to get Manchester United over the line. And people wonder why we are in the mess we're in. It is down to the team selection, and it's down to whatever these players feel is necessary as a standard to play at Manchester United. Those players, I don't think, give a shit. I think they've down-tooled. I think they have thrown in the towel. And I think, do you know what? They're looking at it already. 9 points from 21 from the first 7 games of the Premier League. Absolutely forget United trying to do anything good this season, because it's not going to happen. The team just doesn't look connected. It doesn't look strong. There seems to be no leadership. There seems to be no bond between the players. It just looks like we're playing with a team full of individuals trying to do everything on their own. And the team simply isn't connecting in a performance that really you would have expected Manchester United to comfortably get 3 points from. And it simply is not acceptable. You have to call it out for what it is. It's absolute dog shit on the pitch playing today. That bunch of dog shit is unacceptable. Some of those players should not be in a Manchester United shirt. Some of those players should not be at this fucking football club. And some of those players who think they're great are bang average at best. And some of them are letting these results happen, and they're taking it all on their own and trying to be a world beater where they think they're God gift and they think they're really, really great, high-rated professional footballers. In a Man United shirt that you don't step up into, you take the piss out of, and basically you wipe the shirt of your ass crack. And it's absolutely embarrassing. I'm quite frankly disgusted. I'm quite frankly fuming with the performance today. The second half was abysmal, even though we had 80% possession of the ball in that second half at Old Trafford this evening. But the first half, Crystal Palace were absolutely all over Manchester United. And I don't know why we played so well on Tuesday night, and we've come into the weekend and we've gone back to being bang average Manchester United. And we are a bang average team now. We are not a top 4 team. It's massively unrealistic. United deserve to be in the position they're in. It's their own fault they're in this position now. And I quite frankly have got no sympathy for them. If the manager would have been back properly in the summer transfer window and delivered his key number 1 target, those results on the Old Trafford pitch would not be happening at home to teams like Crystal Palace and Brighton, who Palace, we beat at home last season. We beat at home, and we've lost to them this season. That Roy Hodgson team has come to Old Trafford today and absolutely basically got the Palace fans and the supporters back on side and gone and got an unlikely victory that was very, at the start, looking unlikely not to happen. But Crystal Palace have walked away with 3 points and United have come away with nothing. It's just the whole team. I don't see anything. I don't see any ideas. I don't see any passion. I don't see any connection between the team. I don't see any strategy. I don't see any bond. I just don't see how that bunch of players are going to be able to turn this sinking ship around. It has been a bad fucking weekend for United, where Brighton have lost, Manchester City have lost, Villa have won. I mean, even Newcastle have won. Palace are now above Man United. And you think to yourself, could this get even worse? Well, it could, because even Arsenal won 4-0 against Bournemouth. Manchester United are a laughing stock. It's a circus. It's a fucking pantomime. It's just sad weekend for this club and the fans and the supporters today that, have travelled in their mighty today, 75,000 fans inside Old Trafford to witness that pile of dog shit basically play shit. And it's unacceptable. The fans and supporters who, give their everything for this club, give everything towards the players, the manager and the coaching staff. But when you've got clueless ownership and a pathetic, incompetent board, I don't know what the hype is. I don't see what the optimism is. I don't see any confidence. I don't see all the praise John Mercer and Richard Arnold were getting in the summer transfer window. Like, fans were saying that they're walking in like a boss, getting all our business done early and getting the key number one targets. Where you look at that United team and you don't see any quality. The whole team looks absolutely broken from top to bottom. That whole team looks completely broken, and it's sad. It really, really is. The last two results against Burnley and Palace have been great, but today it's just we're straight back down to earth again with a bump by losing at home to Palace. And teams like Crystal Palace, Manchester United really should be beating comfortably at home every Premier League season that Palace are in, and United have absolutely shown themselves up today. The whole team just looked completely broken from as soon as the first whistle went to the 90th minute. The whole team looked completely and utterly broken, and there was simply no response. I don't know why Man United couldn't find any response. It just looked like the team is running out of ideas. Are the players not listening to what the manager's doing to try to train them in training? Are they not doing what they tell them to do on the pitch? I just don't see how Man United are going to be able to turn this around. It is very, very shocking to lose at the weekend where, I think most of us would have been feeling very confident and very positive that we could beat Crystal Palace. But it's 3 points dropped and we are further away off our rivals. And you just wonder, if the gap gets any bigger, what does the future lie for Erik ten Hag now? I mean, do we have to start questioning his future, and is he the right guy to lead this club back to greatness, or can he get this team to where it needs to be? I don't want to start to ask these questions, but at the moment, I'm looking at this Man United team. I'm looking at this Man United squad. I'm looking at these players, and I'm looking at all the problems we've got. I'm looking at the injuries. I'm looking at the players we've got unavailable and the players we have got available. I don't think Man United can catch a break, and we simply haven't. But that is no excuse for Manchester United to perform the way they did today. That's no excuse. United really should be stepping up to the mark every game at Old Trafford to get the 3 points and get the win. But I think those players, they just didn't turn up, and it's the sad fact that this is happening on a regular basis. I don't think the players are turning up. I don't think they're providing what we're wanting. I don't think they're providing the results, and the performances are getting worse. I think the energy's gone. I think the bubble is now burst, and I think second season syndrome is now hitting this football club. And the worse results get, the worse the situation United are going to find themselves in. Like, I look at that team, I look at the starting lineup, and we're missing Reguilon, we're missing Lisandro Martinez, we're missing, Anthony, Sancho, Wan-Bissake. We're missing so many players. Ahmad, Luke Shaw, Malacia. I mean, we've still got 11 first-team players out this squad, but I can't blame the injuries. But then again, you probably can, because if these players can't keep themselves fit, then they really are at the wrong football club. I mean, the injury crisis we are in, I mean, with the news on Friday, Lissandro Martinez is going to be out for 3 months. He's going to be out till Christmas. There's our number one centre-back gone. And then the left-back to bring in as the backup to cover Luke Shaw and Malacia's injuries. And Sergio Reguilon is also unavailable due to injury. And he ain't going to be back till the international break. So the squad at the moment is picking itself. And the players, I think, are getting so used to having not everyone around that team is not clicking. But what annoys me and what really, really is starting to frustrate me is the selection of a few certain players. It's the few options coming off the bench that shouldn't be given an opportunity. And that's what really, really disappoints me as always, that I'm looking at this squad and I don't see any quality. Man City have got a better team. Tottenham have got a better team. So have Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Aston Villa, West Ham, Newcastle. I look at all those teams and they've got better players in every position, and United just don't have the answers at the moment. And I'm not using the injuries as an excuse, but it needs to be called out now that, how much longer can United keep carrying on like this? Like, how much longer will United have to go without the most key injured players that we've got? How much longer is this situation going to unfold itself? Because we are collapsing, and we're collapsing badly. We are absolutely fractured from top to bottom. And the problem is we are papering over the cracks again, and we're trying to get by with what we got. That ain't good enough. That is not fucking good enough. Just to be getting by every bloody season and trying to achieve with the best of what we've got. That's not going to happen with that squad. It's not going to happen with those players. And Ten Hag is left between a rock and a hard place. I don't know what he's meant to do. I don't know how he's going to be able to turn this around, but you would have thought United would have beat Palace today and would have got the 3 points they desperately needed. But United are now 11th in the Premier League. And if someone would have said to me that, United are going to be 11th in the Premier League at the start of this season after 7 games, I wouldn't have believed you, but I would believe you now, because we are simply not performing. We are not playing as a team. We're not drilling as a squad. We're not combining as a unit. The whole team just doesn't. I mean, do the players not get on? Do some players think they're better than others? Do some players in this team think they shouldn't even be in this team? I mean, is the bond between certain players fractured again? Is the Mourinho situation happening again, where the players were throwing the manager under the bus? I mean, I looked at that United team today and we went with Onana in goal, Diallo, Varane, Lindelof, Amrabat, Mount, Casemiro, Fernandes, Rashford, Højlund and Pellistri. I look at that United 11 and I said this at the start on my preview. I had concerned over the starting lineup. I had concerned over some of these players that are out of form, that are not being dropped. It is bloody concerning at the moment that United are simply, we're all over the place. We are an absolute mess from top to bottom. It's an absolute shambles situation that United have got themselves in again. This game should have been a win. It should have been 3 points, and we've lost. And at the end of the day, we did deserve to lose. Crystal Palace have come to Old Trafford and they've outplayed Man United, where United ripped Palace apart Tuesday night in the Carabao Cup third round. It's a massive negative impact that Carabao Cup has thrown the Premier League result into complete disarray. It's just not helped. And I don't know why those players have not won today. I mean, they played so well Tuesday night and they've gone into the weekend and they've absolutely down-tooled and thrown everyone under the bus, thrown the manager under the bus, the fans and the supporters as well. It's a bad, bad way. We are in a bad, bad situation at the moment that United are basically hiding in all of us again and basically using every excuse in the book to try and cover up the mess we are in. I don't think the fans are stupid. The supporters aren't stupid. We all know what's going on. We absolutely all know the mess we are in behind the scenes, and that isn't helping things on the pitch. We really should be beating teams like Crystal Palace. There is no excuses for Man United to play the way they did today. It just looks like a team that has just got no idea. It's got no clue. And I think the players are fed up. I really, really think at the moment those players are not trying. I don't think they're giving their all in a Man United shirt. And in that second half where you're dominating the ball with 80% possession, why are goals not being produced? I mean, it's that front three. It's just every position in that team. United are just at 6s and 7s at time. The defending's abysmal. The midfield attacking play is dreadful. And that's the front three when you've got an out-of-form Marcus Rashford and an inconsistent Pellistri, who people think is going to be the next big star and the future for this club. I would actually start to question your loyalty as a Man United fan. If you really think Pellistri is going to cut it at this club, I think you need to have a massive reconsideration of an opinion and a view that is massively unjustified, that Pellistri's bang average and he was quiet all afternoon. And I watched the game on my phone. I was out with my family enjoying a day out with my parents. And you come back while watching the game on your phone while you're out as well, and that bag of shit is playing like that again. It doesn't surprise me. I've seen this way too often on too many occasions in several different games. And it does not surprise me in the slightest that Man United are massively inconsistent, massively underperforming, and massively throwing the manager under the bus once again. And like I said, history will repeat itself. The players will throw Ten Hag under the bus and they'll force him out the club. I have seen this all before, and I think it will happen. This squad is not capable of achieving anything this season. I'm really sorry. The truth hurts. I would rather be honest and truthful about the mess we are in. That whole game today is summing up our season. It is shambolic. From start to finish, we are not ready. We are massively underprepared. We had a shit pre-season and everyone was hyping up how great we were performing in our pre-season games. Pre-season means absolutely fuck all to any fan or any support of Man United. It doesn't even matter. The focus is on about achieving your results in the Premier League. And we're not achieving the results we want. We are closer to the bottom three, just like we were last season at the start, where we lost to Brighton and we got hammered by Brentford. And United have already lost to Spurs, lost to Arsenal, lost to Palace, lost to Brighton. We have played 7 Premier League games. We've lost 4 and basically won 3. It's not acceptable. I'm really, really sorry. It is unacceptable now that United are doing this. United and that team, we need a massive shake-up. We need another rebuild again. And we need players that can actually play in this team and produce the results this manager's after, because I don't think the players are giving a shit again. I think these players, who some of them are massively out of form, massively inconsistent, they shouldn't even be in this United team. And they somehow still get selected under Erik Ten Hag as the manager. And I don't know why we are doing this. Why are we selecting players out of form in the lineup? Why are we selecting players that are inconsistent at the moment and their form has dropped off a cliff? And it is. Some of those players today, from last season to now, they have dropped off a cliff. And it is so fucking sad. It really, really is. The standards of some of those so-called Manchester United footballers and some of those Manchester United players who think it's acceptable to lower the standards and drop off again. It is not fucking acceptable. You should be putting in 110% effort to every game you pull a Man United shirt on, and you're not doing it. You are showing to the world that you're incompetent, you're lazy, you're arrogant, you're shit, you're crap. I'm sorry, these players do not like the crap what they get called on social media. Well, reap the whirlwind tonight, because we can't keep letting this bag of shit get away with this excuses again. Like, we cannot let players get away with bad performances. They cannot keep getting away with it scot-free. It's unfair, because if they've got any cojones or any balls about them at all, come out and apologise. Come out and apologise for that bag of shit today, because you were dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. I mean, let's talk about Marcus Rashford. Oh, actually, Marcus Trashford. Let's talk about Marcus Rashford again. What's happened to Marcus Rashford? What the fuck has happened to him? Was our top goal scorer last season has dropped off a cliff again. Does that surprise me? No, it doesn't. Rashford is a massively ego player. He is an underperforming player. He is an uncertain, inconsistent player. And at the moment, he should be dropped. I'm sorry. it is about time someone told Rashford you dropped. Because at the moment, you're not producing, you're not performing, and your goals have dried up again. I don't know why Marcus Rashford's form has dropped, by the way. Is he carrying an injury? Is he carrying a problem? Or is his personal life off the pitch affecting him, and where he got involved in a serious accident and luckily he come away unhurt? Or maybe he should stop jumping from one girl to the other and go into hotels with them and actually concentrate on his football. Because at the moment, he's underperforming in a Man United shirt, and his lifestyle outside of football is affecting it. I'm sorry, if you're a manager, you need to start dropping these underperforming bags of shit. Marcus Rashford at the moment is dreadful. He's been switched from the left and then put on the right, and that is only happening because we're having to bring Garnacho on. Garnacho should have started that game today. The only reason why Garnacho did not play in a Man United shirt today until the second half was because Rashford was on the left and Garnacho does not like playing on the right. Well, there's your problem again. We've got no right winger, have we? Because Pellistri, again, was quiet as everything. And there are so many people on other United fan channels that hype Pellistri up and think he's going to be an absolute world beater in the future and he's got the game to take it up there to the next level in a Man United shirt. I have seen fuck all from Pellistri against Bayern Munich, and I didn't see anything against Brighton, and I didn't see anything again today. Pellistri is bang fucking average. I'm really sorry. He's crap. Pellistri is not the right choice for the Man United right wing position. He's doing fuck all to prove himself. He's done nothing in the last 2 to 3 games to try and show that he's a good Man United option. He's dreadful. He's absolutely bang average. And people hyping up thinking he's got the game to be a great, great player. He's got the game to take his ability up to... No, he hasn't. I'm really sorry. He really hasn't. He is bang average at best. And today, he was quiet all game and quite frankly, was dragged off by Tyrell for an absolutely abysmal performance on the right wing. He is absolutely shit. We need to be honest now. You want shit players to keep performing and underperforming? Be my guest, because I tell you what, some of them ain't going to have a future to tell their kids in the future that I played for Man United and I was a shit player. Because Pellistri showing it, he's absolutely awful. And that's another problem. When you've got Rashford underperforming and you've got Garnacho on the bench, you can't put Garnacho on the right. You can't put Rashford on the right. Neither of them are right wingers. Well, if Jadon Sancho wouldn't have thrown his toys out the pram like a selfish little baby that he is, and he's refusing to apologise to the manager, he's refusing to apologise to his teammates, and he's refusing to apologise to the fans and the supporters of Man United, we might have had a right wing option on that wing today instead of a shit, inconsistent, bang average Pellistri that everyone hypes up. It's absolutely ludicrous that, we have got no other right winger except Pellistri. Because we ain't got Ahmad. He's still injured. And ain't going to be back till the international break. Fucking brilliant. Because we've also got no Sancho. And Anthony, who apparently was back in on the squad on Friday and was in the squad today, but wasn't even on the bench and didn't even play. Which makes no sense. If Anthony is available for selection and he's fit enough to play, why is Anthony not playing for Man United today? Is it because he's going to get too much hate when he comes on the pitch? Is he going to get booed when every time he touches the ball? I mean, I would rather have had Anthony on the pitch than bloody Pellistri on that right wing. Anthony is way better than Pellistri. Way, way better. And people think that Pellistri is better than Ahmad, better than Sancho, and better than Anthony. Go and adapt and go and watch Pellistri highlights and go and watch some Anthony and Sancho highlights compared to Pellistri. Because I tell you what, I think I know which two right wingers I would be picking over Pellistri. And that is Sancho and Anthony every fucking day of the week. We could have done with both players being available today. And then we look at that midfield. What the fuck are we still using? Amrabat? No, sorry, not Amrabat. Why are we still using Mount, Casemiro and Fernandes in the midfield three when it does not work? Mason Mount had one good game against Palace in the Carabao Cup Tuesday night, got an assist, helped build up for the first goal, got us through, And then as soon as the Premier League hit, Mason Mount has gone back to being bang fucking average again. Am I surprised by this? No, I'm not. I'm really, really not. An inconsistent Chelsea fucking reject who has come to the club overhyped, overpriced, overpaid for. Soon he gets in that United team, United's midfield becomes bang fucking average. And it's dreadful. We paid 60 million for a B-Tech Nemanja Matic. And all the hype Mason Mount has had after the Carabao Cup game is quite frankly unbelievable. Yes, he had a good game. And yes, he performed well. But he played 75 fucking minutes and did fuck all to help get that result we needed. It was bang average. And then you've got Casemiro, who was phenomenal Tuesday night, man of the match, and all of a sudden he's dropped off a cliff. Luckily, he didn't get sent off in the second half of the second challenge when he was already on a yellow card. And then Bruno Fernandes. There's too many players that Ten Hag, I don't think, wants to bring off. Because I think he knows. He looks at that bench and he looks at the options he got, and he hasn't got them. He has not got the options off the bench. I'm sorry, Eriksen isn't good enough. Martial isn't good enough. And Mount ain't good enough. So you haven't really helped rebuild that midfield, Eric. I'm really sorry. Like, the Mount, Casemiro and Fernandes thing has got to end. It doesn't work. If Amrabat was in that midfield today, that might have worked. And we might have won the game quite comfortably with that midfield three. But because we've got no left back, because Reguilon, who was coming to save the left back crisis we're in, is now out injured himself. And he's not going to be back till the international break. And you wonder again, where are United going to be able to find the players to be able to get back in this team? Because we need Reguilon back now. We need Luke Shaw back now. We need Malacia back now. We need to start getting some of these injured players off the hospital bed, off the hospital wing, and back in the team. We're going to have to start rushing these players back, because the more injuries we pick up, the worse squad depth. The squad's going to be on its knees by Christmas. And it will. This squad will be on its knees by Christmas because we won't have the team, and the team we've got is on its fucking knees, fatigued, exhausted, and dead. This team at the moment is already dead because the amount of games we are having to play is unfucking believable. The amount of games consecutively every week. There needs to be breaks. There needs to be some kind of break for Premier League teams to catch a break, because at the end of the day, the Carabao Cup shouldn't be here. The FA Cup needs to be scrapped as well. If you had the Champions League and the Premier League, you would be absolutely fine. You've got League One, you've got League Two, and you've got the Championship. The more games these players are going to play in, the worse situation United are going to find themselves in, because if we lose another 2 or 3 key players, United ain't going to have a squad to pick. And then you're going to be scratching your head thinking, well, what's left? What is left to pick? Because you've already got Luke Shaw out, and Malacia, and Reguilon, and Ahmad, Wan-Bissake, Lisandro Martinez, Anthony, Sancho, Reguilon. The situation United are in, this is reaching breaking point now. And it's going to get worse before this gets any better. So the midfield is crap, and so is the back four. We should not be using Diallo. And I've said this time and time and time and time again. Diego Diallo's dreadful. Absolutely woeful today. Dreadful performance, both in the first and second half. But yet again, the reason why Diallo's in the team is because Wan-Bissake is injured till Christmas. So we're stuck with an inconsistent Diallo at right back. And then you move on to the back two, Lindelof and Varane. I mean, does that put any confidence in you? No, because we've conceded a goal and the defence is meant to be keeping the ball out of the net from Onana. I mean, it's a great goal, by the way, and I applaud the Denmark international Andersen for scoring an absolute beauty of a goal on the 25th minute, and it was very far out as well. But I would have thought United, the way they played Tuesday, I would have expected the same intensity, the same pressure, the same attacking play, the same style. that team has got no style, it's got no substance, it's got nothing going forward. And I think by Christmas, we are going to be out the Champions League. We are going to be out the Carabao Cup. Top four will be gone. No European football next season. And third season in, Ten Hag's going to be gone. That is what's going to happen. And I've already predicted all this will happen. And I think it will. I think we need to be really honest now that history is going to repeat itself. And remember when Harry Potter found out in the Chamber of Secrets film that the Chamber of Secrets have been reopened again? Well, the Mourinho situation, third season syndrome, is going to happen with Ten Hag. He's going to be gone. And we're going to be back to square number one all over again. I mean, I feel sorry for Ten Hag. He's having to pick most of this dead wood. He's having to put most of this dog shit every week. And it's not his fault, but I have to question the midfield three. I have to question the front three. And I've got a question. And do you know what? I feel sorry for Amrabat in all this. Yes, he did not have his best game today. I thought Amrabat was dreadful. And I'm not going to beat around the bush about it. I thought, oh, God, this hasn't worked. But he's been deployed at left back for no reason of his own. But it's down to those three inconsistent left backs. It's really, really embarrassing. It really, really is. I feel sorry for Amrabat, where he's even come out and said he prefers to play in the midfield and Ten Hag's playing him at left back. It's not his fault. Ten Hag is left having to pick him. But what annoyed me is what United could have done the whole game. They could have put Mount on the right wing. They could have slotted Amrabat in the midfield three next to Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. And then what could have happened next, you could have put Mctominay or Eriksen at left back. And I think that team would have won comfortably. And I think we would have got the 3 points. But yeah, Amrabat was bang average as well, which is a concern. But I do back the club signing him because I think Amrabat will make positive impacts on this team. But being played at left back is not going to help his performance get any better. And I think Ten Hag has got to start realising that Pellistri ain't the right option on the wing. Maybe move Mount out there, slot Amrabat into the midfield three, and maybe put Eriksen at left back, or maybe even put Lindelof at left back and slot Mctominay or Eriksen at centre back next to Rafael Varane. I mean, we have got to somehow find a team that is capable of playing out of its skin, out of its depth, and finding a team that can play with players out of position. But you really shouldn't have to be doing that as a manager. Ten Hag should not be having to force to change this whole entire team due to the injuries and the problems he's got. It's not Ten Hag's fault. It really, really isn't. But the pressure's now mounting. And, with Champions League football coming up Tuesday evening against Galatasaray at home to Brentford, if United fail to pick up 3 points from any of those two games, then by Christmas, by the end of October, will United make a change and sack Ten Hag and bring another manager in? But I don't think that's the right answer. But United were absolutely dreadful. And there's no going two ways about it that United were outplayed by mid-table Crystal Palace and have won by an absolute stunning goal to get them 3 points. And Crystal Palace deserved it. They were outfighting us for the ball. They were dominating possession in the first half, and United just did not create the chances they were creating. But it's about time some of those so-called big players like Bruno Fernandes and Rashford start stepping up, because I think they've both dropped off a cliff. And I think they're bang average at the moment. And so is, I even have to say, Casemiro. I mean, it was night and day how bad he was today from Tuesday night. And Mason Mount as well, absolutely woeful. We don't need to talk about Pellistri. You know my thoughts on Pellistri. But then you have to look at the subs that were made. We're bringing on Eriksen, an inconsistent Martial that can't put the ball in the net and is injury prone. And we're even using players like Harry Maguire and Donny van der Beek, who Ten Hag wanted to get rid of. And we're having to use them in important Premier League games to get the points. It's unfair. It really, really is unfair. But I have to back the manager. I have to back the decisions he makes and the team he picks. But the more pressure and the worse the results get, then Ten Hag is in deep trouble. I'm sorry to say, but Ten Hag's in deep, deep water. And I think the deeper the water gets, Ten Hag's going to sink. And the board are not been afraid to make decisions. They got rid of Moyes, got rid of Van Gaal, got rid of Mourinho, got rid of Solskjaer, got rid of Rangnick. I mean, if Rangnick was still here and he would have got the players he wanted, and Solskjaer would have got the players he wanted, and so would Ten Hag, you would have looked at the squad we'd have had now, and it would have been night and day from where it is today. That squad is not good enough. I'm sorry, but if certain big players do not start stepping up, they either need to be sold, they need to be moved on, find another club in January, and rebuild this team from scratch, because I've had enough of Lindelof, I've had enough of Maguire, I've had enough of Luke Shaw and Malacia, who are both injury prone. The same goes for Diallo. He's not any good. Wan-Bissake needs to go, injury prone. Mctominay, he needs to be sold. Palestri needs to be sold. Ahmad needs to be sold. We need a massive, massive rebuild. This team needs a massive shake-up. And if United have got any ambition at all in January, you're going to have to spend some money. Don't come out with sell to buy and financial fair play bullshit where both issues are both complete myths. Neither issue exists at Manchester United, and you're using that to get away with the crap performances that are influencing the results on the pitch. And it is. People are saying, "Oh, you can't blame the Glazers. You can't blame the board." Yes, I can, because if Ten Hag would have got Harry Kane, if he would have got Frankie de Jong, if he would have got Victor Osimhen, if he would have got Jordan Pickford, United would have been a better team, and the results would have been better on the pitch. But that is down to a board that don't give a shit, owners that don't give a fuck, and a team of players that are not trying. They're not performing in the shirt. They're not wearing the heart on their chest. They're not wearing the shirt on their heart. They are not doing anything to get any praise from me. Those United players should have a massive hard-on look in the mirror tonight and question, are you Manchester United players now? Because some of you shouldn't even be in the team. Rashford needs to be dropped. Fernandes needs to be dropped. Palestri, he needs to be dropped completely. And it needs to be a front three of Rashford, Højlund and Garnacho. That's the only front three that United have got available. But do you know what? Anthony has to come back in now. Do you know what? If Sancho does come out, apologise, put him back in the team. That's the only way I see us going forward that is going to create any attacking play, any goals from the front three, because they've dried up again. Højlund has scored one goal in 9 games. Was meant to be the problems for the striking, meant to be the problems for the goal scoring for Rasmus Højlund, and another game gone by, another goals have dried up. United don't have the players, unfortunately, and it's sad. It's really, really sad we are in a situation yet again that we are basically trying to get by with a B-Tech team, a B-Tech squad and B-Tech players that aren't good enough to play for the club. And they need calling out for what it is. And if they do get shit tonight, I applaud the fans. I applaud the supporters for doing what they're doing, because they're the only ones that care. They're the only ones that give a shit. And they're the only ones that are caring about this club's long-term future. The rest of them, the players don't give one fuck about this club. And it's really sad to see it is. We are an absolute sinking ship. And that ship is going to keep sinking and sinking and sinking. But yeah, we've lost 1-0 to Crystal Palace. It is a bad, bad result. And I mean, with United now only 6 points above the bottom three, I mean, are we in a relegation fight? Are we battling for mid-table football? But we've got to try and turn this around, and we've got to turn this around very quickly. And yet, we play Tuesday night. I mean, that's another big game, and United have somehow got to find a win from that. But the way we were playing, I'm not surprised we lost today. This was Brighton, Tottenham and Arsenal all over again. We've lost to Palace at home. It is, quite frankly, disgusting, and I'm not surprised by it. I'm really, really not surprised by it. But at the end of the day, we are Manchester United. We are what we are. We are just an absolute mess. And I feel for the fans, I feel supporters, and I feel sorry for everyone that had to put up with that crap today. I feel sorry for all the 75,000 fans that made their way to Old Trafford. I feel sorry for all the fans and supporters that made all that travel arrangement, all the money they spent to go and watch Manchester United play. I feel sorry for everyone connected to Man United fan, because That team, that squad, those players have let everyone down today. It is an absolute disgrace. And those players need a hard-line look now. That are those players the right players? Are those players committed to the long-term rebuild of this club to get us back to the top? Or are those players doing what they did to Mourinho? You know my thoughts on that. We've lost 1-0. It's fucking embarrassing. And we've got to pick ourselves up now because we've got a very important Tuesday night Champions League game at Old Trafford at home to... It's only the Turkish champions, Galatasaray. I mean, what could go wrong? Well, get me a pen, get me some paper, and I'll write down everything that could and will go wrong. And we've got to pick ourselves up for that now. We can't rest on our morals. We've got to win now. We've got to go on and win every game from now. Otherwise, United are going to have a bad season. Oh, I forgot. It already has been one. So I hope you enjoyed the reaction. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. That is United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel and the community if you're new. Share the video. Hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button. Remember to always put the notification bell on at all times to receive dedicated content right throughout the rest of 2023 on United Red Devils 20 on YouTube for more Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 4 Last Resort, Rocket League Season 12 Porsche. We've got more EA Sports FC 24 content coming up for you over the weekend, over next week as well. And then please join me for the preview tomorrow afternoon. We've got the preview for the Man United's upcoming Champions League home game against Galatasaray on Tuesday night. So join me for that preview tomorrow afternoon on Sunday, the 1st of October 2023. I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of my weekend. I'm not going to let this club or the result get to me, but it's finished Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 1. Who would have thought that this weekend? Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe. Be nice. Be kind to each other. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. You're all legends. You're all legendary. Thanks for watching. This fucking football club does not surprise me sometimes.